Jupiter, Florida is a high-demand coastal destination where a buyer's capital and lifestyle expectations frequently and predictably collide. Most people entering this market arrive with a specific vision, typically a newer, detached home on a private lot, but current inventory often suggests a different reality. This creates a disconnect that leads many buyers to spend months pursuing phantom listings that simply don't exist at their intended price point. To navigate this, we are using current MLS data to build the Jupiter Housing Matrix, a tool designed to align your decision-making with the actual inventory on the ground. Efficiently moving through this market requires an immediate choice between property type, the age of the home, and your total budget. Using recent MLS data, we bypass anecdotes to focus on the objective volume of properties in Jupiter. The spreadsheet identifies a clear financial floor, highlighting a massive concentration of properties clustered between $200,000 and $350,000. This chart contrasts that entry-level baseline with the median price for a standalone single-family home, which currently sits above $850,000. This $500,000 gap represents the primary friction point for any buyer operating with a standard mortgage pre-approval. To find a path forward, every search must balance three specific variables: your total budget, your required square footage, and the age of the property. The data illustrates a consistent relationship between these points. Optimizing for square footage on a mid-range budget almost always requires accepting an older property. The entry-level segment covers budgets under $500,000. This tier is defined by downsizers and first-time buyers who prioritize a specific geographic location over owning private land. This tier provides access to the coastal lifestyle at a fraction of the cost of a detached house. The spreadsheet highlights the typical configuration for these properties. When we filter for this budget, the majority of listings in these subdivisions are limited to two-bedroom, two-bathroom layouts. This tier requires accepting shared walls, no private yard space, and reliance on community-managed common areas. It also introduces the variable of HOA fee volatility. An HOA, or Homeowners Association, is an organization that manages a community. It charges mandatory monthly fees to maintain common areas and building exteriors. These fees can drastically change the true monthly cost of an otherwise affordable listing. This chart shows how those costs behave. While a mortgage payment might remain steady, the insurance premiums for older Florida buildings are often passed directly to owners through these escalating monthly fees. Ultimately, this tier secures a lifestyle of convenience, but requires surrendering control over private physical space and long-term recurring costs. The Family Optimizer segment ranges from $600,000 to over $1 million. In this tier, buyers trade more capital for private land and proximity to school zones. The goal is typically to secure a 3 to 4 bedroom home within the boundaries of schools like Jupiter High or Independence Middle. This price range is primarily made up of dense, established suburban developments. Looking at the dataset, neighborhoods like Jupiter Village and Toughening Landing represent the primary inventory available for this specific budget. Most homes in these areas were built 30 to 50 years ago, which usually requires a secondary cash reserve for modernizing the interiors. There is also system risk to consider. Florida's climate is difficult on roofs and HVAC systems. HVAC stands for heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Buyers in this tier must account for these potential capital drains. Because of the high demand for top-tier schools, proximity to a specific campus adds a significant multiplier to the price per square foot. The most reliable way to find value here is to target properties needing aesthetic and mechanical updates, exchanging direct labor for a lower entry price. The mid-market tier successfully secures a family footprint, but it demands a higher tolerance for ongoing maintenance projects. The premium lifestyle category includes those specific buyers who require turnkey condition, private pools, or direct water access. Applying a filter for a pool or a waterfront location immediately reduces the available inventory by 70 to 80%. In the spreadsheet, the highlighted entries on rows 1, 15, and 26 show that properties with these specific features cluster at the absolute top of the price range. Navigable water access reclassifies a property into a highly illiquid asset class, commanding a massive premium over inland counterparts. To secure a pool or a view on a budget under $1.5 million, buyers often have to accept a significantly smaller total home size. In the Jupiter market, amenities are the primary price drivers that dictate the necessary capital outlay. Organizing these conflicting data points into a single framework helps identify where a search should focus. This chart organizes the market based on available capital and the required space and amenities. The bottom left quadrant represents the condo and townhome route, low capital but high geographic access. The top left quadrant, where moderate capital meets high square footage, represents the 1980s suburban route. The top right quadrant represents the turnkey and amenity route for buyers with high capital. Every search eventually settles into one of these quadrants. Success depends on recognizing which compromise is most compatible with your goals. Purchasing in Jupiter is about choosing the right trade-off for your specific life stage. Determine your one non-negotiable priority before beginning a search. Once you set a specific priority, such as a budget under $400,000, the inventory reveals the neighborhoods that offer statistical viability. This market doesn't offer shortcuts. By understanding the data and accepting the required trade-offs, you can execute a search with actual precision.